Iceland, one of the last raw adventures a motorcyclist can experience. The ultimate test for man and machine. Year after year, all the big names of the motorcycle industry come here to bring the technology and the engineering of their new ADV bike to its limits. An adventure that requires a cutting-edge adventure bike and a skilled rider.
So we are going to take this 500 euro sport tour, sport bike thing to Iceland. I thought it would be really interesting to go to the place where adventure bikes reach their limits and see if this bike can do it.
And all that with no mechanical skills whatsoever. What a great plan. I cannot see anything going wrong here.
No!
I'm just have my hands hanging on the handlebars now. I'm trying to get feeling back into them. Fuck this!
Before witnessing the endless beauty of Iceland, our adventure starts all the way back in Germany, where I still had to get some few repairs on the motorcycle done and had to get the tires installed so that this 500 euro sport tourer can handle Iceland properly.
Let's see what the new tires can do.
I was completely satisfied with how the tires performed in the sand, and now it was time to get going. The guys from the mechanic store told me that I would not get with this motorcycle out of Germany and were making bets that I cannot make it. So let's prove them wrong.
Today is the day we're getting going to Iceland. Well, not to Iceland directly. First we have to go over Denmark, and we have about 600 kilometers to go. I see this working out with a 70 to 30 chance. Like 70% were good, 30% were not. Yeah.
For the first moment on the road, I instantly got greeted with heavy rain, and with the goal of the ferry to Iceland in mind, we made our way to Denmark over the Autobahn. We made it to Denmark, with basically no issues except having to top up the oil after 200 kilometers. So I won the bet of making it out of Germany, but just barely.
I hope we didn't break down now. Please turn on. I'm begging you, just turn on. So I now called roadside assistance. I called the German Roadside Assistance Association, whatever, in German, the ADAC. Really get a membership in a club like that, because it can really save your ass. I hope that they can help me and that I can make it all the way to Iceland, because this is now becoming a problem. This is not good. To be honest, this is kind of depressing, because I put in all the money into the ferry, and that was expensive. And if I now miss the ferry and cannot go to Iceland, and I also put money into the tires and the roadworthiness of the tires, the TÜV, and yeah, shit.
After a few hours, the ADAC arrived. And I was lucky, because usually they're mostly focused on cars, but the guy that came was in its free time a motocross rider. Something was stuck in a fuel hose, and also the fuel cock was broken and only worked in a very certain position, but we managed to get the bike starting again. So the Iceland trip was saved for now. Now we just had to quickly find a place to stay as it was getting dark, so we can catch the ferry the next day. So after a few more 100 kilometers, we made it to the harbor in time. I was in this moment really happy about having made it, because with the breakdown before, I now was sure that any further breakdowns would at least happen in Iceland and I wouldn't have already failed on the way to the boat. That of course had the downside that anything that would break in Iceland was basically unfixable, as I already googled how many parts for my motorcycle are roughly in Iceland, and it would be pretty hard to get any kind of repairs done. The only chance was kind of to get something fixed in Reykjavik, so we just had to hope that everything holds up.
We are going into the boat. Let's see where the motorcycles go. I already saw some other bikers earlier.
After 2 days, we finally made it to Iceland and were touching land again. As you can see, there's still a lot of ice on the mountains because Iceland has experienced one of the longest winters in years. And there was still a lot of ice in the country. And just a few minutes in, we already reached our first beautiful stop.
Look at this extremely impressive waterfall. Isn't this beautiful? This is the first thing that I saw here in Iceland. I'm only like 20 minutes here and this is just extremely impressive. I'm already loving it.
After being amazed at this beautiful waterfall, we had to get on our way to get some supplies in the next big town. We had now successfully bought food and camping supplies, and now this adventure was ready to start properly. So here we are. You cannot imagine my frustration. We didn't even go 20 kilometers here in Iceland and we were stuck with the bike not starting. I'm doing this trip with a 500 euro motorcycle not because I am a sucker for punishment, just because that's the bike I have and it's the only option I had for making a motorcycle trip to Iceland. Even though it didn't work earlier in Denmark, I decided to give this bike a push start and surprisingly it worked. We were back in the game. I was so happy about this. This is the road to the Westfjords, our goal for the day, and our first gravel road, the thing that we're truly here for.
I'm a creature with no skeleton inside your hands. Got no home address, I come and go as you come.
This is now getting steep. But you can see the Westfjords over there. This cannot be happening.
We had another problem on our hands. The mount for the suitcases was damaged from another crash from a previous video where I took the bike to the Sahara Desert, and I thought everything was fine with the suitcases, but with the vibration from the dirt road they couldn't hold onto the bike, and this was becoming a repeating issue. In for a penny, in for a pound, this was not going to stop us from exploring Iceland on this motorcycle.
Lately I've been staring at the dark. Turn my inner demons into art. Struggle with the pain inside my heart.
We now reached the Westfjords and we will now go for a little hike because we are going to have a look at a beautiful waterfall that I will show you guys in a minute.
You can already see the waterfall over there.
To say what you want to say, 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 what you want
Not good. Fuck! No!
My sleeping bag is in my motorcycle. Oh no! Okay, the following thing happened. Somehow my sleeping bag got into my rear wheel and got sucked into my motorcycle. I almost wiped out. Look, my brake pattern is about 30 to 40 meters long. Let's get that thing out of here.
Luckily I managed to get my sleeping bag out of there as it was properly stuck in the sprocket inside the bike. We also had to find shelter soon as the day was coming to an end and it was supposed to be -7 degrees with a broken sleeping bag.
It's been a long night. Black skies glowing. We're losing light. Where am I going? Black skies glowing. The wind blows high. Winter's light. Cold and dry.
When coming up with the idea for the Iceland trip, the original plan was to take my motorcycle through the Highlands to prove that this bike can do it. Sadly, that was not possible at the moment and we would have to wait to make that happen, as it still would be a few days until those roads open up. But I was still stoked to go off-road in Iceland, so I asked the owner of this land who owned a horse ranch here if I could go over a horse riding trail leading to a very beautiful, colorful canyon. And he said yes, so we got on our way. almost made it through this one, but I was too scared to just open up the throttle in case I would dig myself in even deeper. Instead, I slowly slipped back into the mud. This could have been avoided if I would have had the balls to just stay on the gas.
Was habe ich mir gedacht?
After the motorcycle slipped back into the mud, I was panicking because if I wouldn't get this motorcycle out there by myself, it would cost a huge sum of money to get proper help with proper tools and vehicles to get the bike out of here.
It's Miles. I'm on the trail and I ran into a problem. I wanted to go through a puddle and the puddle was deeper than I thought. And I got stuck. Do you have a rope? So we can maybe drag out the motorcycle, because I cannot do it on with my own strength. Thanks a lot. I thank you so much. Honestly, you're a savior, because I feel like I'm stuck in the shit. Okay, see you. So I'm now walking along the river to meet the man who I called to help me. I hope that he can help me and that we get out of this one without a big trouble. So guys, I have found him. I can now see him already in the distance over there. So let's hope this goes well. I'm scared that I will not get the bike out of there.
Okay, for free. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. No, it's not working.
After the overwhelming success of our first 2 attempts, we realized that we didn't know at all what we were doing and that we are completely overwhelmed with this 200 kilo piece of metal stuck in the mud.
Which wheel is
Powering this one.
This one.
Then
Maybe you can try
backward.
Backward, yes. It's possible to lift just this part and to rotate from this side, or what do you think? Is possible?
Yeah, that could work. 1, 2, 3. That was a try.
1, 2, 3. One, two.
Maybe get something under.
Something under.
Yeah. The rock is gone. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
When lifting the bike and trying to rotate it to the side, and after digging out the dirt underneath the rear wheel, we slowly started to see some success. We always managed to turn the bike by a few degrees, but it took us a long time. We were doing this for many hours.
Get it out of here. I owe you a beer.
You didn't expect it so deep.
Yeah, I did not expect that at all. You know, because this bike is usually up to my hip.
Finally, after a lot of work, we managed to turn around the bike. Now we only had to get it out of the water and the mud.
I have a bad feeling I don't...
Me too.
I turn it on now. Wait, one more moment. Trying the clutch. 1, 2, 3.
Now we should.
So, I'm still neck deep in the shit. Basically, the owner of this land now went to get a shovel, because it now looks like this. I drained most of the water. While he is gone for like an hour to get the shovel, I'm still busy. We tried to start the bike and drive it out of there, but the clutch made a funny sound. I hope everything is good. Yeah, we will now continue, and then we will soon start digging.
At some point the water didn't become any less. We tried everything. We dug a hole right next to it that was even deeper, with no success. That was the moment that we realized that this little puddle was connected to a little river that was flowing into another puddle, and those were both connected underground. But after that we managed to get the water out finally.
You wanna try with engine?
Huh?
You wanna try with engine? Let's try.
Yeah, but the thing is, we have like 2 tries left
Okay.
with the engine. So let's make sure that the next one is a good one. 1, 2.
Okay. Okay, now. Okay, 1, 2. Okay.
I'm trying to hold it with the
Okay,
brake now.
I have shuffle under the wheel. 1, 2, 3. We can try again just. 1, 2, 3. I will block it by shuffle. Okay. And maybe the last time. 1, 2, 3.
I'm holding it with the brake. If you come over here and grab my right hand and press this lever. You got it? Whew, how do I get on now? My body is so tired from all this.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Time.
Before I start the bike, we need to fix this one. My friend,
We are close. We are close to win.
I hope that we didn't damage the clutch.
Okay, we are free.
Oh my god,
We were brave.
we did it.
I'm going to
We drained a little
clean a
river.
little bit myself in the river.
Dug almost over half a ton of mud, but now it's done. Fuck's sake. Oh, now we have to clean up, get all the stuff.
I was super happy that we managed to get the motorcycle unstuck, but we still had to get quite a lot of kilometers done as this took most of the daylight hours. And I also had to stop by the camping ground to properly say thank you to my savior in this situation.
Well, life has nearly killed me, and my mind has put me on the edge. Life has nearly killed me, and my mind has put me on the edge. Though I can barely crawl, I've got to walk where these angels' feet are tread. Darkness nearly drowned me. Sunlight alone, don't it burn my eyes? Darkness nearly drowned me, and the sunlight alone, don't it burn my eyes? This valley is much too deep, and this mountain so very high.
After recovering from a quite stressful day and washing my clothes in a hostel, we were back on the road, with the goal of the Glacier Lagoon in mind. The weather was hideous and the conditions were tough. And sadly the day started with my rear suitcase breaking, but nothing that couldn't be fixed with some duct tape. I had problems navigating myself to the Glacier Lagoon as my phone shut itself off as there was water from all the rain and all the wind in the phone, but I very quickly found a good solution.
So, we have now made it to the Glacier Lagoon. This is it. It is a lagoon that was created by a glacier in the past 100 years, because this glacier is melting quite fast, and over the past 100 years this lagoon was created. So let me show you around.
You and I should be together while worlds do us apart. But the way I feel won't get me through the night. You and I must be together as shadows do collide. Whispers and tongues, your dressing gown awaits for your return. You and I will fall 100 floors to embrace God's honest truth. You and I, you and together, you can see it in the stars. You and I will burn in funeral pyres of the past and become anew.
When continuing, the weather was incredibly bad and the wind was impossible to work with, so I decided to try to make some kilometers on the ring road. But the wind was so strong that I never felt as unsafe on my bike as I did here. I had to very strongly lean against the wind, sometimes the wind would change directions, and also I had big trouble keeping the motorcycle on the road, with occasionally actually drifting into the opposite lane or almost off the road and having my feet on the ground for most of the time. Even though the wind was super exhausting, I saw this incredible black desert and I had to explore it. There was black sand all over the place and a few little rivers. And some parts of the road were just as soft as proper desert sand. What an incredible experience, and I had to stop to really take in this beautiful nature here, that it was truly one of a kind.
Put me on the altar 'cause you can't be tamed. Silence underneath your flame. Cut the cords around me as I speak your name. It's never gonna be the same. Even though I loved you, it was all in vain. And now I gotta break away. Put me in the water, tell me I'm renamed. Higher self-reclaim.
Even though not super obvious on video, the storm hitting Iceland was still an incredible challenge. The wind just didn't stop. At this point, the wind has pushed the caravan off the road, and the wind also hit me, and then all of a sudden it hit me from the other direction and pushed the bike off the road and ripped off parts of my windscreen. Luckily, the way to the next little town wasn't far because I desperately needed to find shelter, as it was not safe outside with winds exceeding 120 to 140 kilometers an hour, and also camping was absolutely not possible. Even walking without the motorcycle was dangerous at this point. My camera ran out of storage before we arrived at a place to stay.
Was close. Come on, you can do it. Fire up, fire up, fire up. Ooh, this has gotten quite quick all of a sudden. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, and the hill. Oh, I cannot reach any brake. Oh, because I have to keep the gun. No. Oh.
So we finally got going, and it was still incredibly windy, but that was not going to stop us from seeing our goal, the Seljalandsfoss, a very special waterfall in Iceland.
So as you can see, we're now getting closer and closer to the waterfall. Let's get wet from the waterfall. Whew. All the water gushing in my face. There's so much water coming our way here. We made it, we're behind the waterfall. This is so incredibly beautiful. I'm so happy to experience this. Also with all the water just gushing from down there. How incredible.
I wanted to make my way to Reykjavik, but I wanted to explore a bit on the way, but I got stopped by this river. I was thinking about crossing through it. It looked doable, but the off-road behind it would at some point be closed and I would have to turn around. Also, until now, there was not a single day without an incredible challenge, so I thought I maybe should just skip this one, as last time I went through water it didn't go that well. Also, I had a date in the evening with a woman from Reykjavik that I met on the road, and wet shoes wouldn't really leave a good impression, so I decided to get on my way. Just as the day before, it was still incredibly windy, so much that the bike got pushed around on the gravel. On tarmac it wasn't much better. I quickly realized that I had no business being outside in this wind.
Before now continuing on my way to Reykjavik, I've got myself a burrito. I'm now enjoying this in some wind protection here behind the supermarket, and then we'll get on the road.
I arrived completely frozen through in Reykjavik, but I was excited because I had an exciting evening in front of me. I was invited to a concert in a golf club. I wondered how that would be like. The concept was an acquired taste, but I'm open to new things, even though I have to admit I didn't fully get the concept. I spent 5 days in Reykjavik and took an involuntary break from filming, as most of the ring road was blocked due to a very heavy storm. But all in all, it was still an amazing time, and it really proves that the things you see on your trip don't matter as much as the people you meet, and was the best time I had in Iceland actually.
I am today in Reykjavik and I'm currently in my Airbnb. It's actually really nice here. I decided to treat myself a little bit because this was actually not that expensive. And that was really nice. And the best thing is I have a little kitchen right here. So I just had some of my leftover pizza I made yesterday for breakfast. And we will today have a look at the Blue Lagoon.
Of course, for our day trip we needed some swimming pants and off we went. The way to the Blue Lagoon had some beautiful nature and also some incredibly fun riding.
Actually, this little trail here besides the road is just so fun to just fly over here. Where's this supposed to go now? Up there? That seems like a scary climb. For sure. Let's turn around and get a little bit of a run up to it. Otherwise this doesn't work. Wow! Whoa! How cool!
So, we now made it to the Blue Lagoon. Let's check it out.
The Blue Lagoon was an absolute super disappointment. It looked like a public swimming pool and you were supposed to pay over $100, different to advertise on the internet. But the outside area was actually quite beautiful. So I had some cheap food and went back to Reykjavik. All good things must come to an end, so it was time to leave Reykjavik. The bike still didn't start, but nothing that couldn't be fixed with a little push.
Come on, we can do it! Just fire up, please.
And our goal was the Westfjords. The only way to get to the Westfjords was over the Offroad through the Highlands.
You say you wanna kiss me till the morning, till the light, the light. I wish that I was here for more than just one night, one night. Losing track of time, dreaming under stars above.
So let's take this gravel road. This is the only way to go to the Westfjords, and it's one of the few Offroads that is open. So, and you can already see it's getting rough. I hope that my camera on the back survives all the bumps. Oh no, the camera says goodbye at the back. This last bit. And then I need to save the camera. No! No! Shit. Exactly the thing I was scared of. How are we going to fix this now? So as you can see, the bike is standing again. Okay, now the moment of truth. If this bike turns on again. Oh, you know, the thing that I didn't need is all the fluids once going to one side and making everything a bit complicated. For fuck's sake. Yeah. There was some white smoke for a moment coming out of the exhaust. And let's go.
Desert hills and lonely places, heavy still without your traces, holding on to every breath we wasted, tender for your soft embrace.
We made it through the no man's land that is the Highlands and finally reached the Westfjords. Not that it would make much of a difference, as the Westfjords is one of the least populated areas in the world, with 7,000 people living here on almost 9,000 square kilometers. But before exploring the Westfjords, we had to find shelter as it was slowly getting dark. We were going camping. The only problem, it was still 80 km/h winds, which instantly blew the bike over and made building the tent very hard. It was flying all over the place, and when I finally got it onto the ground, I instantly threw some rocks inside so it doesn't fly away. We were in for a rough night.
So, it's the middle of the night. Tent now multiple times almost collapsed and got pressed down. I just hope it will be fine for the rest of the time. Now the wind kind of calmed down for a short moment while I'm taking this video. So, it is definitely wild.
Lately I've been staring at the phone. Turn my inner demons into art. Struggle with the pain inside my heart. Wish I didn't care about what
That was a rough night. It was raining during the night, what you guys didn't really saw, because luckily it was dry in the morning. And it was so windy, I've barely slept. Our goal today will be the western fjords of Iceland. So let's go.
you want to say. You want to say. You want to say what you want to say. You want to say. You want to say. You want no one.
We lost a suitcase. Honestly, after this trip, new suitcases, because they're just done. I lose them regularly, and that's just not good. Those suitcases, they came with the bike when I bought them, and they've been through a lot by now. And this is actually the first time that I've lost this one. This one was always good. Never a problem with that one. Yeah, it looked like that thing here came off. Luckily only that. Okay. Let's bring the thing back. So let's put it back on the bike. I hope that everything is fine with the stuff in the suitcase. Because in this suitcase is also my expensive camera that I use for work at home. Okay. Odd that it wasn't held by the straps, because usually when something like this happens you still have a chance to realize it and it doesn't just like fly off right away.
In my direction, my bearings have me south of home. I've been wrong before. I was waiting in the undertow, set adrift with fed away like bow.
Ooh, what type of little boat is this? This looks interesting. Let's check it out. Wow. Oh, it's called Garda, like the lake that we've been to. Let's have a look at it. So apparently on our way we came across the oldest steel ship that's stranded here in Iceland from 1981.
And I was waiting in the undertow. Said a drip fell away like balls. Unaware where my heart would flow. I was waiting in the undertow. And I was dreaming of a love I loved. I fell asleep within an autumn flow. I never knew I drew so far from home while I was waiting in the undertow.
We were 300 kilometers away from Greenland, in complete isolation in this beautiful nature. What a gorgeous coastline. I was absolutely fascinated as I also got to see some very gorgeous waves, and I just wish I would have my surfboard with me to surf those amazing waves, and it kind of made me wish that I will one day come back to Iceland to do exactly that. Then we finally reached it, the farthest point of the Western Fjords and the closest point in Europe to the Arctic. It was an incredible feeling having made it this far. And also we saw some puffin birds, because this is one of the few places where they live. After this incredible experience, it was time to get back on the road. And until now, the weather and the views have been so beautiful that I almost forgot how close I was to the Arctic. But I was about to be reminded of that.
The red sun rose this morning. Dark skies pronounce your warning. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Let's bring out those gloves. Oh, it's just cold. Fuck. Oh, shit. So, as you guys can see, we have snow up here. Okay. Shit, shit, guys. My hands hurt really bad from the cold, and I don't know what to do. And I lost my suitcase just again. And I have trouble moving my thumbs. Our suitcase is not getting better with every time it falls off the bike. What a fucking shame that the suitcases are giving up, because the rest of the bike is holding on well. It's just me who's freezing a lot, and the stupid suitcases. Okay. See how high this mountain is. Have a look down there. You can see the sea over there. We must be roughly at the height of like a 800 meters or a kilometer. Let's put that thing on there. Okay. Fuck.
We are the outlaws.
As soon as I'm off this mountain, need to find any place with a place inside, like a restaurant, a gas station, or maybe a place to stay. Place to stay would be perfect, because I'm just have my hands hanging on the handlebars now. I'm trying to get feeling back into them. I have trouble grabbing the brake and the gas.
I tried to warm up again and luckily got feeling back into my hands. That situation really worried me. All in all, the situation on the trip was a bit difficult at this point because it was originally planned as a motorcycle camping trip, but the weather was all the time really bad. Like, the winds were most of the time above 80 to 90 kilometers an hour, and due to that the camping was really limited, and trying to go camping in those conditions, also with the rain and the cold, was not really possible, which led to my credit card at that point being in the minus. We still had 4 days left on our trip, and we were over 1,000 kilometers away from the boat. I still wanted to go over the F26, so I got on my way. But first we had to get over the mountains of the Westfjords. Out of the western fjords, we still had 500 kilometers in front of us, and storm was about to come. It is supposed to rain and the wind was supposed to pick up a lot, so my plan was to get through those 500 kilometers as fast as possible to the north of the country. Before the storm got worse, we were basically racing the storm.
Open eyes can always see you lost your wings, you're falling free. Threads of gold, skin to stone. I was home inside your love. Unconditionally, I'll hold your place inside me.
From here on, it was just gravel road, and the wind was very strong. All the caravans leaned in the wind and struggled quite a lot. I discovered that if I go over the bumps a bit quicker, it is a lot easier with the motorcycle, as the suspension can handle it a lot better. So I was basically just flying over the gravel road, making good time and good kilometers. In this terrible wind with the cold, it was quite tough. I cannot imagine going through this on a bicycle. On my way to the north, I still had to go through some mountains and got so cold that I started to get a fever and my mind had problems working, and I realized that that is very dangerous and tried to get off the road as quickly as possible, but my batteries ran out before arriving.
So I am now in my room and I'm now currently working on my laptop to transfer all the data. It's the middle of the night. Well, as middle of the night it gets here, and I will now transfer this data and then have a hot shower to warm up because I'm still really cold, and I hope that my clothes dry over here. I have my gloves, my pants. Yeah.
I got sick from the cold and needed to take a break. But after that the weather cleared up and we had our first sunny day with almost 10 degrees. So I took off the suitcases of the bike so I could use the Yamaha XJ600 to its full ability. And our first goal of the day was the Dettifoss Waterfall. We were almost at the Dettifoss after taking a little shortcut off-road, but there was an area of environmental protection in front of us, so we couldn't continue even though we were only 500 meters away. So we had to find a way around it. Driving the motorcycle through the sand was incredibly fun. I found this little curve and I wanted to try to drift the Yamaha XJ. On the first few attempts I was a little bit too shy. I first tried to brake into the turn and then dropped the clutch and just accelerate out of it. First in third gear, but that wasn't enough, so I tried it in second, and after a few tries I managed to see some results. I was not going to be the next Paul Terrace, but I was satisfied with the angle for now. Also, on the last try I almost fell, so I thought it was all good for now.
So let's make our way through this volcano landscape to the waterfall. Oh yeah, down there it is. The Dettifoss. Just an incredible view over this landscape right here. But to be honest, this looks like a really far walk. You have to go all the way down this cliff till about over there, and then all the way down here. That's at least a 1 to 2 hour walk. So let's make a good recording from up here, because from up here it's already really impressive. So, something that I wanted to show you guys. This is the entrance to the F88. And it's kind of representing all the entrances also to the F26. And this being our last day before we leave Iceland. When I arrived here, the original plan was to go over these routes and to go through the Highlands, because I wanted to prove that a normal motorcycle can do it. Yeah, that didn't work out. The grip of Icelandic winter was still really strong deep into the summer months and made actually the travel here quite tough. We experienced a lot of tough weather, and this tough weather that you've seen in the last few videos is the reason why this is still closed. So yeah, I hope that I still managed to prove a lot to you guys that you don't need an adventure bike. You can do a lot with a motorcycle like this. I would have liked to show you guys that even the toughest road in Iceland is possible with a motorcycle like this. And I'm really positive I would have made it. But stuff is not always possible.
I was a bit disappointed that I didn't manage to reach my original goal, but still, on all, I was incredibly happy that we made it with the XJ all this way through Iceland, and also with loads of off-roading. If you watched this video until now, I would really gladly appreciate you subscribing, and also have the link to my Patreon down in the description. But this adventure isn't over, there's still an unexpected twist. Let's get back to the hotel, clean the bike, and prepare to get on the way back.
Driving through
We were close to the boat, and here you see the same mountain with a stark contrast to the beginning of the film. There was a lot less ice here. So I am now on the boat. This is my little cabin and my little bed. This is how it looks here. It's all pretty small, but it's doing alright, and it's my first time having a bed on the boat, which is super nice. I spent 3 days on the boat, and I talked to some other motorcyclists, and apparently I was quite well off in Iceland, as some of the other people didn't manage more than 200 kilometers, and the Icelandic police banned them from riding in the wind as it was just too dangerous. Also, there were multiple people whose bikes didn't survive the trip. We reached Denmark, but I managed to push it down this slope and start the engine that way, and we touched land again. We were back on European mainland, but there was still one thing that I wanted to see on my way back to Germany, and that was a beach that you can drive on with your car in Denmark.
Ah, how cool! We're actually driving along the beach. I think this is such a fantasy. Like, let's be honest. You have all those commercials where like motorcycles sometimes ride on a beach. I've seen so many Instagram videos, and this is just cool. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Ah. Well, I think I maybe have broken my foot. This did not feel good at all. Let's chill for a moment. My foot really badly hurts. Like really bad. Oh my fucking god. That hurts so badly. Like for real. This hurts incredibly bad. I don't even know if I'm able to get up. Okay, let's... This foot is good, this one is not. Ooh, this one hurts.
My foot was in quite bad pain, and I thought about going to the ER in Denmark, but I wondered I probably would have to wait for quite a lot of time there, and I would not be able to push start my bike, so it would lead to loads of trouble with the ADAC and a very complicated situation. So I decided to just ride the bike home. When stopping in a bar, I realized that the crash ripped out my big toenail, so I couldn't really see if the pain was from potentially a fracture or from that. But back in Germany in the hospital, it was clear that there was a hairline fracture. The way back was a bit complicated, as I could not turn off the bike for extended periods of time without it not being able to start, and also couldn't shift the motorcycle with my foot, so I reached down with my hand and shifted the bike by hand. And like this, we made it the last 600 kilometers all the way back home with my broken foot resting on the engine cage. With driving past the Hamburg harbor, we were back in Germany, and what a trip that was. Loads of beautiful scenery, some of the most scenic landscapes in the world, and loads of adventure and off-roading. It was truly the adventure of a lifetime. But there was also a lot of struggle involved. Iceland is not just a beautiful place, but also a place with loads of wind that is very cold and also, to be honest, quite expensive. At the moment I was thinking I'm probably not going back to Iceland. But now, when editing this film, I think maybe one day that will happen, especially as we still have to go over the F26. Please like and comment, as I have put a lot of work into this film, and I would be very happy if many people get to see it. And special thanks to my Patreons who support this channel, and also thanks for everyone to join me on my big Iceland adventure. And see you soon.
Yep.